What's up? We got Arrow Season 2, Episode 10, The Last Radius. So, this episode starts off with Oliver defeating looking after a guy, trying to find out who the guy in this Comax kid. And we know it's Hot Dan, aka Sebastian Blood. But Oliver doesn't, so he goes after that guy, and the guy's like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's like, you're the guy. You're always in Crescent. You know everyone is in Crescent Circle, and he's like, he doesn't know. He's on parole, and Oliver's like, not anymore, and punches him. So we learn that Felicity is still seeing Barry in Central City after. So Barry's still comatose. Felicity is visiting him, and that's why she's not. That's why she's not in the beginning of this episode, because either Emily Bett Records is out doing something else, so they couldn't have her show up, or it's just a story. So Felicity shows up. So Felicity is in Central City visiting Barry, and I was like, "How's he doing?" And he's like, "Still," and Diggle's like, "Still comatose." So at least they're still checking in on the Barry storyline, but ever since the last episode where he became struck by lightning and became the Flash. So yeah, so then we see this guy, and he blows up a building. So yeah, so we see Oliver at a campaign rally for Sebastian Blood, or Evil/Hot Dan, and yeah, Oliver has no idea that this guy's working for his hashtag former new ex-best friend, Slade Wilson. It seems like Oliver had two ex-best friends in this show, Tommy and Slade. So yeah, but at least Tommy wasn't evil. Slade's now evil. So yeah. Oliver, Diggle tries to find out where the bombing happened. Can't hack. Diggle doesn't know how to hack. So, but then Felicity shows up, and Felicity decides to show up for this episode, and Oliver. I'm getting all these characters confused now. Oliver's like, "Hey, you were supposed to stay in Central City for a few days," and she was like, "Yeah, but she took the train out when she heard about the bombing, and yeah, so a second bomb goes off, but the guy is able to out hack Felicity, and Oliver gets mad at her, saying about how she has too much. He's like, "Hey, get your head out of Central City and focus on the game," and she's like, "Hey, why don't you get your head out of your butt?" And okay, and yeah, they get into a fight, and she's like, "What'd you?" And she's like, "What'd you mean by that crack about Central City?" And she's like, "When the first bombing went off, you weren't there, and when the second bombing went off, you weren't. Yeah, when the second bombing went off, you went in the wrong direction." And she's like, "Don't blame me for you not doing it." And he's like, "Hey, don't blame him for her not having it." So yeah, Laurel is doing some background check on Hot Dan, or Sebastian Blood, and she even has a date with him, which is weird. Which is weird that she would have a date with this guy, not knowing that he's actually an evil psycho, and he's trying to trying to turn people into Mayor Crew soldiers, including Roy. Good job, Laurel. Well, does Laurel have the best taste in men? She had Oliver, then she had Tommy, and now she has Sebastian Blood asking her now. Does Laurel have the best taste in men? Doesn't she? I have no idea. Does Laurel have the best taste in men? Tell me in the comment below. Question of the day. Does Laurel Lane have the best taste in men? In men? Yeah. Question of the day. You don't have these, but I'm just saying. Does Laurel Lane have the best taste in men? So I know one person's gonna say no. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Laurel ends up bumping into Sebastian Blood's office and talking about how his mom killed his dad and his dad was drunk and dad beat him up. His mom killed his dad, and she even started. She looks at my arrestic. So she goes to Quentin and is like, "Hey, will you look into Sebastian Hot Dan or Sebastian Blood for her?" And he's like, "Yeah, but we tell her what's going on." And she's like, "Will she tell him what's going on?" So he looks into it, and it all just says is that he's just been paying for his mom's expenses. And he's like, "Hey, that's not someone being evil. That's someone being nice." So yeah. So Laurel decides. So yeah. So then we hang out with Tommy. We hang out with Roy and Thea, and Roy has obviously been injected with the Kudu, and he's now a super strength. And Thea even discovers this when they try to make out. He hits his head on a bottle, and it stabs into his, and the bottle glass stabs into his arm. And later on, he even saves Thea and Moira when the bomber tries to blow up Sebastian Blood's campaign. So speaking of Sebastian Blood's campaign, Oliver hears about this, talks to him as the Arrow, and be like, "Hey, dude, if you do this, you're not gonna put yourself, but you're gonna put all of Starling City in danger." And he's like, "Hold up, Arrow. Hold up, Arrow. You have you think you're the only one that can fight for this city?" So yes. So at the bomb. So Oliver breaks into the bomber's place. Strapnel, they call him. We're named for a villain name, Strapnel, and Oliver is able to take out Strapnel bomb. And also Quentin mentions about how Oliver has a mask, because at the end of episode 9, Barry gifted him, before Barry being struck by lightning, Barry gifted him a new mask. So, and Felicity commented on how he looks like a hero, and that's what he's wearing throughout the entire season, his new mask, which looks great on him, better than the grease paint that he rocked for the full first season, and up to episode 8 of this season. His mask looks way better than any grease paint he wore. So, yeah. Forgot to mention in my episode 9 review, but decided to mention it here, that Barry gave Oliver a new mask. And gave Oliver a mask. And it looks great. Not new mask, he gave him his first ever mask in the show, but it looks great. It looks great. Thank you, Barry. Sorry that you're comatose, bro, but you're great at picking masks. So, yeah. So anyway, back to the actual episode itself. Is that Oliver's able to? They're able to stop him. Oliver before he can blow up all his throwing. See, Oliver arrows his wires and defeats him and arrests him. Oliver Theo comments on what Roy did and saving them, and he just says that moms save their child every single day. He's seen that moms save their child every single day, so it's not. Yeah, so Laurel decides to meet up with Myra, and she reveals that she's not his aunt. She's really his mom, and he killed his dad. She's really Sebastian Blood or Hot Dan's or Evil Dan's mom, and he killed his dad and locked her in there to make her make people sound he's insane. And as this is happening, over Hot Dan or Evil Dan or Sebastian Blood is like, hey, let's team up, Arrow, and they shake hands, and she's like, and my arresting is like, you cannot trust Sebastian Blood, and I'm like, totally agree with that. This dude is working with Slade. Only if Oliver knew that, and so come on, Oliver, I get it. I guess Oliver can just trust anyone evil. But anyway, that was it for this episode. Yeah, and she so we learned that Myristic is actually his son, so Hot Dan or Evil Dan or Sebastian Blood, whatever you want to call him, mom. And he locked her in there to make cover up like he was her aunt and never. So, but anyway, that's it for this episode. This episode's okay. I'm glad we're getting more onto the more of what. I'm glad they referenced what happened to Barry at the end of the last episode, and Felicity, and Oliver apologized for what he said to Felicity. But this episode it's alright. It's not one of my favorite episodes. Boss Radius is an okay episode. It's okay. It's not that good, but it's okay. But I would say episode 90 is a way better episode. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll see you next time for some more Arrow.